Hello and welcome to today's video. Today's video is requested in the comment section of the last video, and the next video we're going to do, I'm going to put some suggestions up in my Discord, and everyone in the Discord can decide together because I upload these videos usually at quite awkward times for some people, meaning some people never get to actually request a vehicle. So, getting into the video, the first thing we look at, of course, the ammo types. The first ammo type that you get is the armor-piercing ballistic cap shell. Now, this thing does 192 mils of pen at battle rating 5.3. You don't need the APCR round, ever. It's a useless round because it just overpens everything and does no damage. The first round you get will not only pen anything you want to pen, but also explode once it goes in. It's perfect. It's really a really great round, and there's no use for any of the other shells. First round will do you for every situation. Now, looking at the armour, it looks just like a Pz.IV, except the front is really heavily armoured, because it has a thick slope. Same thickness of armour, you have a much higher slope, so the rounds bounce off it, get fired at you all the time. Not only that, you also have the additional armour, which places tracks on the front of it, and also places some tracks on the side. The tracks on the side probably will never save you from anything. Maybe they will, but it's unlikely to. But the ones on the front turn your frontal armour, at least where they are, into 100 mils of heavily angled armour, which makes the vehicle even stronger than before, and you're going to really struggle to be killed from the front in this thing, unless in a full up tier against something maybe using Sabot. I don't know, I've never been killed through the front, I don't think, when I was in this thing. So I think the best way to show just how good this vehicle is by showing it in a battle. So let's get right into it. So to begin, we can see me using the vehicle correctly, sniping from long distances, trying to hit people. First shot I missed, but then we hit a Pz.IV. Obviously one shot him because we put the round straight through his front. Then we get shot by someone, so we return fire. It's an ASU, we kill him in one shot as well. Obviously not hard targets to kill. And we start pushing forward, which is the complete wrong thing to do, but it seems to work for us as we catch this T-34 off guard. Then two enemies are looking our way, but they don't seem to have a better fate. They can't pen me, so I just fire straight through them and kill them pretty easily. And that goes for him too. Very easy kill. And I go cap the point. Then, when I'm coming out of the point, we spot two people. One pulls out there, it's an M10, and he fires at me, bounces off me of course, and I pen him and kill him in one shot, and another M10. But before he can fire, we knock him out. Now, of course we're very lucky because no one's coming from behind or from the sides, so we're relatively safe. We take this shot pretty quick to stop the T-34 from escaping. We knock his engine out, set him on fire. He doesn't know where I am actually, but I take another shot. This one doesn't actually pen, but we're bouncing rounds from someone else. They're not penning us either. We shoot this guy, and of course one shot him as well. They're still bouncing rounds off me, none of these are penned yet. See the Swedish boy, knock him out in one shot, and then we go back to the T-34 who's repairing and finish him off. So we decide to push up as I thought I saw someone over the ridge. I did actually, there was a KV-2 there. I'm chasing him down because he went down the hill a bit to take cover, watching everyone else get slaughtered, but then my weakness is shown to a Shaffy and I get killed. So what's my overall thoughts about this vehicle? Well, it's incredible. I mean, it's just a Panther but at a lower battle rating. Sure, it's not much lower, it's 5.3. But in the end, it is just a Panther at a lower battle rating. The gun has the same stats. It's basically the same gun, honestly. We have incredible frontal armour. Sure, it's just as thick as a Pz.IV, but it's really angled. You saw in that footage, me bouncing round after round, and the extra armor that goes on top of that makes it 100mm thick. It's just silly how strong this thing is. And then we also have pretty good mobility as well. I mean, it's a lightened up Pz.IV. It doesn't move bad, and you know, and because it has all these together, you can just sit far away from the enemy sniping them. They can't touch you unless they get to your side or from behind you. Really, there's nothing they can do otherwise. They just basically have to cry. That's basically it. That, or you come up against like a British Sabot maybe and they shoot your lower frontal plate. But it's unlikely. It is really unlikely. So, a bit of history on this. So this was the most produced type of Yag Pz.IV. It was simply because when the first Yag Pz.IVs were out in the field, they had muzzle brake on them, and crews kept cutting them off because the way they kicked up smoke basically made it impossible to fire rapidly, and it also gave away their position, so a lot of crews would just take it off. So the Germans thought, well, we might as well just not produce them, so they started using these guns. They did have later problems with this particular gun simply because they couldn't produce enough of them quick enough, so there were other variants, but we're looking at this variant for now, so we'll just focus on this one. 70 in the name is the length of the barrel, that's what it means. Not sure why it isn't called L70, usually guns are named like that. For example, you have the Leopard, which used the L44, and they put it in the L, but for here they're just taking the L out. Now, that means the gun is basically the same as a Panther in terms of penetration, damage and all that. It's all the same, it just doesn't have the muzzle brake. The V at the end stands for Vormag, which is the company which made this particular type of tank, and this tank, despite being called the Jagdpanzer, was not designed for hunting tanks. Basically called a tank hunter, but it didn't do that. What it did was sit in a defensive position, taking cover, firing at long ranges, and generally trying to be camouflaged and sneaky. Not that it would sneak up to the enemy, it's that they would sit on a flank and the enemy would drive sort of towards the main force in the centre and they would fire inward and knock tanks out. Now, this doesn't really mean much in War Thunder, I know, but I think the history is quite interesting. It'd be nice to actually try these tactics, maybe if you were playing World War mode with these, you'd actually have an opportunity to actually try that out. Putting these on the side, covered in bushes, hiding, and letting the enemy come forward, and then firing into them from the side. Who knows, maybe it'll work. I don't know. So, where do we put this on the leaderboard? Honestly, because this thing is just incredible, it is our new second place. Just below the SCV, but above the IS-1. Note this is the same battle rating as the IS-1, but can easily kill an IS-1, and also can easily withstand a shell from an IS-1. So, it definitely goes second place, taking that spot. But again, it doesn't take the SCV spot, because the SCV is just silly. I think we all know that. A couple of quick notes before we finish. This vehicle is actually harder to pen than a Panther is, because on a Panther the weak spot is on the turret. Obviously this doesn't have the turret, so there isn't really a weak spot on the front at all. And that if you have any bushes that you can put on the front of your vehicle, if you lay them on top of the tracks on the side, it makes it harder for the enemy to decide where to fire at, and more likely for them to fire directly into your tracks, which of course is the extra 20 mils of armor, making you even harder to kill than before. Also, it's worth noting that you can actually angle this tank. Not very easily, of course, as it doesn't have a turret, but the gun does turn quite far to the sides, and as well the gun depression isn't that bad to say it's got no turret. It's a -7, which is pretty workable really, so going over hills or up obstacles and firing is still relatively effective. Of course, a problem though is that the barrel is quite long and quite easy to hit, so if you're pushing a corner, people quite often shoot your barrel out as you're going around the corner. So, thanks for watching guys, please give this video a like, it'd really help, and have a look in the Discord, 'cause I'm going to put up a vote on how to organise a leaderboard. I've had some suggestions, so I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.